Hello, this is TelecomTV at the MPLS, SDN and NFV World Congress 2016 in Paris, and I'm talking with Rolf Eberhardt, who is Head of Service Orchestration at CMS, Comms and Media Solutions at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Rolf, good to meet you. Thanks for talking to us. When we were talking off camera just now, we were talking about what we're going to do and what we're going to talk about. You said, I am Mr. Orchestrator. I like that. It's a good name to have. So tell us from the start then, why is service orchestration so increasing in importance at the moment?
Service orchestration is becoming important because you cannot make money with NFV without applying services to the end customer. Customers need to have the same agility on services which we are able to deploy underneath on the network infrastructure. They expect to see the same speed of deployment which we're doing on the blades, on the hardware, also on the services side. And they expect to see the same speed of services which we're bringing out to the customers in the cloud environment, also on a telecoms environment. And with an environment as we have today in telcos, with OSS and BSS being slow, we just cannot make the business case fly. Hence, orchestration is key to making NFV, SDN a reality for the end customers.
So you're talking, Rolf, about making NFV and SDN a reality in the commercial sense, but the emphasis on orchestration is quite new for obvious reasons. What do you need to change in terms of things like assurance and fulfillment, things like that, to be able to get SDN and NFV ready for commercial deployment?
Telcos will have two areas which are important. On one hand, we will have a strong focus on resource orchestration continuing forwards. NFV has been starting off as very simple infrastructures and will be evolving into all the complexity and vagaries of virtual data centers, whatever. So that's one area which will develop. On the other area, we'll have the evolution of services, going from what we used to know as static services to be much more dynamic services. And this dynamicity of services, where you're able to stitch them together on the fly, change, adopt them from an end user perspective even, that's going to be the second aspect which we're addressing. We're addressing this with Service Director, which covers fulfillment and assurance end-to-end. So we have the complete package from an HP perspective to provide both the service orchestration part and then underneath the resource orchestration using NFV Director for the entire NFV orchestration complexity.
Thank you. Now you are Mr. Orchestrator, as we've said at the beginning of this. You are at the sharp end. You're seeing every day what's happening within Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. What particular emphasis is on orchestration with NFV right now? And have there been any oddities, pitfalls, things that you didn't expect as you've worked through it?
I guess we weren't expecting such an intense discussion with orchestration as such. We were starting off much more with an infrastructure perspective, and now the industry is really asking for an end-to-end service aspect. This is really important because this is how the telcos are going to make money, and luckily we're able to come up with a very innovative approach to solve this customer problem. There is a lot of push. We're going into production, so the market they've finished the POC phase. Now it's about making money with NFV, and that's where we're going.
Well, you've led me beautifully on to my last question to you, Rob. Perfectly, couldn't have done better. If you think back three and a bit years to when NFV first appeared on the scene, and everybody was taken aback by it and began to realise just what an impact SDN and NFV are going to have on the networks around the globe, and cloudification, etc., everything that goes along with that. Huge amount of hype about it and a huge amount of optimism about it. I speak to both service providers and manufacturers and vendors on a routine basis, and there are two sides becoming more and more evident in this. The manufacturers and the vendors say, look, we've spent a lot of time, we're in this open environment, as required by the service provider themselves. We've spent a lot of time, effort and money on research and development into making NFV a commercial possibility. We want to now start selling some stuff so we can make a return on our investment. We're in business to do that after all. And we feel that things have slowed down a bit and that NFV isn't going ahead at the rate we thought it might have done.
Mm-hmm.
The countervailing argument from the service providers is, well, hang on, we're a different beast. This isn't IT, this is telecoms, and although things are changing, we are rather more measured in our approach. We have to make some massive cultural changes to get this into line with what's happening. But also, we want to be assured, we don't want to be locked into anybody in particular, we want to pick and mix and match and pick and mix. We want to be able to do that, and we want to know that everything that we're going to buy is going to work in the way we want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So given those two sides of the argument, I don't know which one you would take, but how long do you think it will be before we see real solid commercial use cases on a wide area basis?
We're seeing them now. I would believe that we're going into the production stage. Swisscom is a very nice example, and I like the way Swisscom has solved the dilemma around changing the organization. They started small, very dynamically, with a team learning on the job how to evolve operations, how to develop operations towards a more agile approach. They were open to evolution, to change, and that's something which we in the telco industry need to understand, and where we need to learn on how to do it properly. They've been learning with it, and they have been able to deploy a very interesting solution to the market in such a fashion. I'm pretty sure once a telco has understood this approach, they're able to replicate it and bring it across to other organizations as well. So it's, as you said, it's all about change management, understanding that there's a different notion, proving to the organization that it's possible to deploy this way, and that there is software on the market which will keep you away from this lock-in syndrome. And I fully agree with you. We've seen, our industry is, in particular OSS and BSS, is well known for lock-in. We need to change this. The lock-in is going to be the death to NFV and SDN, because it just slows down the innovation. And the speed of this agility needs to maintain for us to be successful.
So given what you've been saying, Rolf, you think then that the approach to NFV, a sensible, measured approach, one that works, will promulgate across the world's networks in due course, starting with pioneers such as Swisscom, and once that model has been proven, it will start to promulgate elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. It will go from technology areas where the benefit, the financial impact for the customer can be made immediate, and it will move across to others. It will take 3 years for a telco to begin to understand the organizational change around it, and it's going to be 3 years for the first telcos to pick it up, and then another 2 years for them to do a widespread rollout into other technologies. We must not forget there are huge investments in the hybrid environment, so our operations has to cover the new way of working and the old way of working at the new speed.
Of course, because no organisation like a service provider, a national telco or anything else is going to throw away legacy equipment for the sake of something new when they can still use it.
Why should they?
Well, precisely. Really, really interesting stuff. Rolf Eberhardt, thank you very much indeed.
It was a pleasure. Thank you too.